welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Sydney.
And I am Mike. And I have to admit, Sydney, I should apologize to all the other animals out there. I was all about the dogs yesterday when we were talking about searching, rescuing animal heroes, animals helping people, working as a team. But it turns out there are bottlenose dolphins that help the U.S. Navy, along with California sea lions. And we also heard about cute little otters in Florida. And what do they do? Remind us about what they do.
Yeah, so they basically, they make their own air bubbles underwater, and their air bubbles will trap a certain scent. And I guess it can kind of lead them to bodies and kind of help them with forensic missions, which is very interesting.
Kind of like how dogs do it, right? On land, you're smelling stuff in the air. Otters do it, but they create bubbles of air that they then smell, and they can find things. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. So it led me to kind of think last night about what other animals could be on this list, because clearly we're not going to spend a lot of time looking at boring old dogs. And then I started to think about other animals that work with people. Pigeons. Pigeons are famous, right, for carrying messages, communication, but can't really see how they would help with search and rescue unless you were, you know, hiking in the mountains and you had a pigeon with you. If you get lost, you can let it go and it might, you know, tell people where you are, but I don't really think that's going to help much.
I know, I don't think so. I know, my mind also went directly to pigeons in the war, carrying messages kind of back and
Horses
forth.
work with people
Horses,
well, but
maybe.
Can they save people?
I don't really know.
Can they look for people? Again, I'm not really sure.
Maybe some insects? You think we'll encounter some insects, maybe?
I've seen, them working with different types of bugs and put little, you know, controllers, little radio things on their back. They can send a signal. That's kind of in like Mission Impossible or a spy movie. And then there's, of course, animals that would be terrible at this. The sloth. You know,
imagine.
Or a turtle. Save me! I'm going too slowly. You know, that just wouldn't help.
It wouldn't work.
It would take weeks for them
take forever.
to come back and rescue you. So what other animals are going to be on the list? We clearly have no idea. And you probably don't as well. So let's get into the article and find out. On dry land, large rodents called African giant pouched rats have taken on an important role, checking for landmines. The most well-known of these are the hero rats, trained by the organization Apopo. These rodents have cleared over 160,000 landmines worldwide since 1997. They are capable of searching an area the size of a tennis court in just 30 minutes. One secret to the rats' success is that their bodies are too light to set off the mines themselves. Science fiction may be fast becoming reality in the form of cyborg insects. Engineers in Singapore have begun fitting cockroaches and beetles with tiny backpacks that hold batteries and sensors. Okay, what other animals do we have today that are going to save people in strange situations?
All right, let's find out. So, again, we are going to continue with day 2 of the Animal Heroes of Search and Rescue. So, let's continue. So, it says here, on dry land, large rodents called African giant pouched rats have taken on an important role. Checking for landmines. Oh, okay. Now, I was going to say, as I was kind of going through this, I got a little bit of a heart attack because giant, large rodents, that's freaking me out.
You know? Not just rodents, because, you know, a cute little rabbit is a rodent too.
Or like a little mouse.
These are rats.
These are rats.
Giant rats.
Giant rats. And that's kind of giving me nightmares a little bit, but it's okay because they have an important job, which is checking for landmines. Landmines, which are essentially kind of leftover explosives.
Like
right?
a bomb
From war,
underground.
from bombs, exactly.
You put a bomb underground and someone steps on it, boom, and it explodes. The problem, of course, is after the war's over, those bombs are still there. And for farmers and for children running around, working on the land, it can, of course, kill people years after the war. I think, I mean, even in France today, they still find mines and bombs from World War I and World War II. And of course, finding these things is really hard and costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time, and you need special training unless you have a whole bunch of giant rats. Which, of course, is great news for all those people with too many giant rats. So what is going on here? It says the most well-known of these are the hero rats, trained by the organization Apopo. And we salute the good people and the even greater rats of Apopo, the hero rats, I should call them. It also said the most well-known. So apparently there are people doing this with rats in other places.
I guess
it's
so.
Not just the one group like that. One otter splash. No, this is a pretty common thing, apparently. So how good are these rats at their jobs? Well, here's something that will impress you. These rodents have cleared over 160,000 landmines worldwide since 1997. So in about 30 years, they've cleared 160 landmines. You know how many landmines I've cleared?
0?
Yeah,
0.
The number would be 0. So I cannot make fun of the rats. The rats are doing a much better job than me. And that's actually really impressive.
It really is. Who would have thought?
160,000 landmines. And that could be 160,000 people whose lives have been saved because of these amazing rats.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
All right.
As long as I don't have to touch them, I like them.
Salute to them. All right. Now, here it says they are capable of searching an area the size of a tennis court in just 30 minutes. Oh,
Whoa,
okay.
really?
Wow, the size of a tennis court in just 30 minutes.
Wow.
Very impressive.
I mean, I've never cleared a landmine, clearly, but I thought it was like, they got to be really careful, and they use a little thing, and they got to dig it out and take it out. Wow, that is very impressive. So that is 30 minutes in a whole area. Imagine how big a tennis court is. There's rats just going around, and soon that area is safe. How do they do it?
So it says here that one secret to the rat's success is that their bodies are too light to set off the mines themselves. Oh, okay. So I guess they are called these, large African giant rats, but their bodies are still actually rather light.
Right.
They don't weigh that much, so they're not actually going to set off the landmines. So for those who don't know, typically if you want to set off, not want to, but if you set off a landmine, you have to put some weight on it, you're stepping on it, you're tripping over it. But luckily for them, they don't weigh that much, so they can find them without putting themselves in danger and essentially blowing themselves up.
That's right. Much better than the elephants they first tried this with. And oh boy, that did not go well. Yeah, okay.
Now we have our vocabulary word here, which is the word capable. And this is used as an adjective. So if someone or something is capable of doing something, it just means that they have the ability to actually do something. Typically, they have the ability to do something successfully, kind of like these rats in finding the landmines, right?
Yeah.
So for example, we could say, Sophia is capable of solving difficult math problems. All right, great example.
Good for her.
Yeah.
All right, you know who else is capable of solving difficult math problems?
Hanny.
Yes, definitely Hanny, and probably not me.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天要继续介绍搜救动物。课文提到 Apopo 组织所训练的英雄鼠，从1997年以来，已经在全球清除了超过16万颗地雷。这些非洲巨鼠能在短短30分钟内搜索一个网球场大小的区域。那它们体重够轻，不会触发地雷。好，来看单字 capable， 它是形容有什么能力的、胜任的。Be capable of 加上名词或动名词，就可以表达有能力做某事的。那这边有一个重点是 set off 的意思及用法。首先，它可以做及物用，表达引爆，像引爆炸弹、地雷等等，或是触发警报等。例如 ，She accidentally set off the car alarm。她不小心触发了汽车警报器。再来，它可以做不及物用，表达动身出发，开始像开始旅程，常常会跟 for 加地点来连用，表达前往的目的地。例如 ，They set off for a summer camp with excitement。他们兴奋地出发前往夏令营。介华课文中。
All right, we are back and we are going to continue along with our article, learning more about different types of animals that can kind of help us out during some search and rescue missions. So take it away.
Absolutely. Now, I was kind of joking about insects being used to find people, but apparently that is a real thing. And it's actually even stranger and maybe a little cooler depending on how you think about it, than we could imagine. It says science fiction may be fast becoming reality in the form of cyborg insects.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of times when we read about technology, we often see that science fiction is becoming reality. Things from science fiction movies that you might have seen 5 or 10 or whatever years ago are real now. It's becoming reality. When it's fast becoming, this is happening quickly. These weird, crazy things that we might have seen in a science fiction movie will soon be true. Engineers in Singapore, are you ready? Engineers in Singapore have begun fitting cockroaches and beetles with tiny backpacks that hold batteries and sensors. Yeah, that is pretty much exactly like a science fiction film. So imagine a cockroach. Some of them can actually be quite big.
Yeah.
But it's got a little battery. It's got some electronics on its back.
Backpack.
I'm imagining like a little aerial, like a little antenna to pick up Wi-Fi or something. And those things carry batteries and sensors. So digital technology, computer stuff. And of course, a battery is what will power all of that technology and that computer stuff. I know, it's a technical term, computer stuff. But a battery is actually the word that we use, yes, for the thing that has the power in your phone. When your phone is dying, when your phone will stop working soon, when it's down to like 5%, you plug it in and that electricity is held in and is taken from the battery. So basically a battery is a power source, an electric power source that you can move around. And of course, there are little batteries in our phones and bigger batteries in our cars and all sorts of batteries in between. For example, the battery in the smartphone died very quickly. Oh no, get a new battery, or maybe have to get a new phone, or maybe just get a cockroach.
And to think for all these years, I've been killing cockroaches by spraying them, by setting traps, and by stepping on them.
Oh no, think of all that cyborg technology that you have stuck in the bottom of your shoe.
R.I.P. to all the roaches that I've killed over the years.
Wait, have you killed any of them in Singapore?
Not in Singapore.
I think you might be safe.
So maybe I'm safe.
You're probably
I'm sorry.
safe.
The Taiwanese roaches gotta go.
Don't kill them in Singapore.
Singaporean roaches, you guys can stay.
Very expensive too.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't want to have to replace them.
I need to invest. I think I'm in the wrong business.
Well, I think that is a growth industry. Cyborg cockroaches. We're going to look into it as Hanny tells us all about something extremely interesting.
课文接着提到，科幻小说里的半机械昆虫可能很快要实现咯。新加坡的工程师已经开始为蟑螂还有甲虫装上搭载电池和感测器的微型背包。Mike 老师想象这些昆虫可能配有小小的天线，那他说的 aerial 还有 antenna 就可以指天线。那么单字 battery 则是指电池，而文中的 cyborg 它是指半机器生物或是生化人，它其实是由 cybernetic organism 去结合而来的。那我们这边来看一个重点 ，fit A with B 是指为 A 安装 B， 把 B 安装到 A 上面。那被动形式是 be fitted with something， 表达配备有什么。注意 fit 在这边它是做及物用，表达安装，像安装设备等等。例如 All the rooms are fitted with air conditioning， 所有的房间都配有空调设备。比较一个用法是 fit A into B， 表示把 A 放入塞进 B， 这时候 fit 是强调使什么放得进去的意思。例如 He managed to fit the wheelchair into the trunk of the taxi， 他设法把轮椅塞进了计程车的后车厢。那接回课文中。
All right, so we've got mine hunting rats in Africa and cyborg cockroaches in Singapore. We don't actually know what the cockroaches are doing, do we?
We don't know yet. Not yet.
Yes.
But that's why right now we are going to go to the second part of the article and come right back to learn more about exactly what these roaches do and how they do it.
Cockroaches controlled by computers. It can't be a bad thing, right?
Hopefully not.
By sending gentle electrical waves to their legs, handlers can guide these insects through narrow gaps in rubble after a disaster. Then, tiny cameras or heat sensors attached to their bodies can be used to look for signs of life. However, for now the technology is still being refined. These unusual helpers show how creative search and rescue science has become. In places humans can't easily go, there just might be an animal perfect for the job. By working with animals' natural abilities, the potential to save more lives or find answers to unsolved cases grows.
All right, Singaporean cyborg cockroaches. It's not the name of my new rock band.
Wow.
Which would be a good name for a band,
It would be.
Singaporean cyborg cockroaches. But what are they exactly doing with computer-controlled cockroaches in Singapore? We know they're computer-controlled because cyborg actually is cybernetic organism. So basically something that is natural, flesh and blood like people or cockroaches, and then you attach a computer to it in some kind of way. So yeah, that's what's going on, but what are they doing? It says by sending gentle electrical waves to their legs, handlers can guide these insects through narrow gaps in rubble after a disaster. Again,
Wow.
this is like something from a science fiction movie or a video game or something like that. They're controlling how they walk. They're basically driving the cockroaches and using them kind of like those search dogs do, right? After an earthquake, the building's just a big pile of rocks and stuff, and they kind of send them into those little gaps, those little spaces, I guess, looking for people. And of course, they're very small, so they can get into these little
They can get into really tiny spaces.
Weird.
All right. Then it says, then tiny cameras or heat sensors attached to their bodies can be used to look for signs of life.
They also have
Looking for signs of life, meaning, looking for people who may be still alive and trapped and buried under rubble.
Okay, so it's drone roach.
I guess
It's a
drone
drone
roach. I like, I think I like that better.
Drone
roach. I like that better than cyborg
Drive
insect
it around, it's
robot
got a camera,
roach.
you can see things you can't normally see.
I like that, drone
Cool.
roach. Then it says, however, for now, the technology is still being refined. Okay, so it's still being refined, it's still being improved and fine-tuned, and they're trying to kind of, no pun intended, work out the bugs. But again, our vocabulary word here is the word attach. And so attach is a verb. So attach just means to put or to stick something onto another thing or person. So they're attaching these things or sticking these, tiny things onto the roaches to help with their mission. For example, Nathan carefully attached the note to the gift. So maybe you give someone a gift or a little note, you want to attach a card, attach a gift to it, just like that.
Tie it on, stick it on with some tape, something like that. That's also what we do with files on an email, right?
Yeah,
you attach files, and that's your attachment. It's been joined together. All right, let's go to Hanny. She will attach our brains onto some new information.
操控人员透过向昆虫腿部发送微弱电波，引导它们穿过灾后的瓦砾堆中的那种狭窄缝隙。接着呢，昆虫身上的微型摄影机或者是热感测器就可以用来寻找生命的迹象。Mike 老师觉得这功能听起来很像无人机，老师说的 drone 就是无人机。那课文单字 attach 当动词表示附上、固定或连接 ，attach A to B 表示把 A 固定连接到 B 上。它的名词 attachment 可以表达附件或是附属物的意思。介绍课文中。
Okay, so that is definitely, I thought the river otters that can burp bubbles and smell things, that was weird, but cyborg cockroaches in Singapore definitely is the most impressive and most unusual animal helper. But as we get back to our article and wrap things up, it says, these unusual helpers show how creative search and rescue science has become. We have to admit, very creative.
Absolutely.
In places humans can't easily go, there just might be an animal perfect for the job. Even if it is a nasty little creature like a cockroach, you put a little camera pack on those guys and they're saving lives, at least in Singapore.
Yeah.
Definitely very creative. When we say something is creative, it shows a lot of original thinking, a lot of imagination. When your friend does a painting and you're like, oh my gosh, I have never seen anything like that before. It's very creative, right? If it's kind of like other people, maybe they copied, not so creative, but very original, very new, very fresh, very surprising to to you if you've seen it or listening to the music and never heard anything like that before. It shows a lot of imagination and original thinking. For example, sometimes difficult problems require creative solutions. Yes, absolutely. Like in Singapore, where they probably have a lot of cockroaches, not so many dogs. This is a creative solution.
Very creative indeed.
To search and rescue.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. So, by working with animals' natural abilities, the potential to save more lives or find answers to unsolved cases grows. All right, great.
So my idea of rescue sloths, that could happen.
You know, rescue sloths, I think you had mentioned before, butterflies that could kind of help detect certain things. Imagine that. And butterflies are gorgeous.
Idea.
Imagine a beautiful butterfly coming down to save you after you've been buried under rubble.
That's right. It might not save you, but it looks pretty.
You know what? Yeah, you still might be gone, but at least the last thing you see is the
butterfly. I can watch the butterfly as the sloth slowly walks over to save me. I'm not in a hurry to be rescued.
Of course,
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But the butterfly, well.
Yeah, so I guess maybe butterflies and sloths have less potential to actually help.
You never know.
You never know. But potential, right? Potential, that's a noun. So potential just has to do with the qualities or abilities that can be further developed and lead to successfully doing something. So if someone reaches their full potential, they're reaching their full capability and ability to do something.
There's a young kid, very, very tall. Wow, what a lot of potential to be a basketball player. But maybe they just hate basketball.
Exactly.
But they have the potential.
They have the
There's
potential.
The possibility of something great.
So, for example, we could say the coach saw the great potential of the new player. Kind of like what you just said.
There you go. Very fast, very quick. Could possibly be a great athlete, but maybe he just wants to do esports.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's go to Hanny. She has so much potential that it's just unbelievable. And she's about to unleash some of it on our brains.
借由创新的搜救方式，然后善用动物的天赋能力，我们能够拯救更多生命或是破解悬案的可能性就可以大幅增加了。来看单字 creative， 它可以形容创新的、有创意的、有创造力的。potential 名词可以指可能性、潜力或潜能。介华课文中。
All right, we are back with our What Do You Think question. I have a question for you, Sydney, and for you guys too. Have a think and a chat about this. But what do you think are some of the challenges to using animals in these missions?
That's a great question. I think for me, one of the challenges would be just what if something goes wrong with the animal? I know there are probably a lot of experts and animal scientists and trainers who have worked really hard to train these animals to do specifically what they do.
Right.
But, you know, at the end of the day, animals can be quite unpredictable. What if they don't follow the training? What if something falls on the cockroach that's looking for people? What if Splash the otter wants to be more playful and not really be on duty that day? So my thing is, how do you know how successful these animals are going to be when you actually put them in those specific missions?
Right, and how do you keep them safe in those very dangerous environments? That's a really good point. I would also say more at the beginning idea, training them. It costs a lot of money. It takes time. I mean, I don't know anyone who knows how to train rats to find landmines. This is a pretty special job, and I'm sure there are many places in the world that could use these types of animals, but actually finding them, training them, getting them to where they can help out, that would be a big challenge, and of course, it would cost a lot of money. I mean, there's only one of those otters in all of Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm betting you there's more than a few missing people in the state of Florida. So just training more and getting them out there to where they can do their best work. That is a challenge. And sometimes we'll see these groups like Apopo asking for money. So if you feel like donating some money, you will be helping some rats, help some people find landmines, and that helps all of us in the end. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll have more great articles about other fascinating cyborg insects, I'm sure, coming up soon.
On dry land, large rodents called African giant pouched rats have taken on an important role, checking for landmines. The most well-known of these are the hero rats, trained by the organization Apopo. These rodents have cleared over 160,000 landmines worldwide since 1997. They are capable of searching an area the size of a tennis court in just 30 minutes. One secret to the rats' success is that their bodies are too light to set off the mines themselves. Science fiction may be fast becoming reality in the form of cyborg insects. Engineers in Singapore have begun fitting cockroaches and beetles with tiny backpacks that hold batteries and sensors. By sending gentle electrical waves to their legs, handlers can guide these insects through narrow gaps in rubble after a disaster. Then, tiny cameras or heat sensors attached to their bodies can be used to look for signs of life. However, for now the technology is still being refined. These unusual helpers show how creative search and rescue science has become. In places humans can't easily go, there just might be an animal perfect for the job. By working with animals' natural abilities, the potential to save more lives or find answers to unsolved cases grows.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 capable 是形容有什么能力的、胜任的 ；battery 是名词，表示电池；attach 动词，表示附上、固定或连接。Creative 可以形容创新的、有创意的、有创造力的。Potential 名词表示可能性、潜力、潜能。文法的部分，第一个学到 set off 的意思跟用法，那它可以做及物用，表达引爆，像引爆炸弹、地雷等，或是触发警报等。它也可以做不及物用，去表达动身出发、开始旅程。再来，我们学到 fit A with B， 表示为 A 安装 B， 把 B 安装到 A 上面。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki. And I'm Winnie. And there are animals all over the world. But they don't all live in the same place. So today we are at the zoo and we're going to check out some animals and see where they live. Some habitats include the tropical rainforest. These are areas with very heavy rainfall. You might see an orangutan there or even a parrot. Another example would be temperate zone. These are areas around the world where they experience all 4 seasons in the year. You might see animals like red pandas or pumas. And you might also have heard of a desert. These are areas that are really dry. They're really hot in the daytime and they're also really cold in the nighttime. You could see meerkats or even an antelope. There are so many cool animals all over the world, and oftentimes their characteristics match their special habitats. Next time you don't know where to go, make sure you check your local map. That's all we have for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram. Send us a DM or an email. If there's something you don't know how to say in English, then you want us to answer for you. Kiki, anything else you want to say? Where do penguins live? Kiwi later!